An impartial judge, an impartial jury. That's what you want. That's what we should have. That's the intent when we go into our legal system, when we're judging a case and someone's innocence or guilt. But at the end of the day, these decisions are being made by human beings. Human beings, judges specifically, who have made many rulings on most cases far before it even gets to the jury, as pretrial hearings and motions are played out months, sometimes years in advance. One of those cases that we've been following for you is the case of Richard Allen and the Delphi murders. He's, of course, accused of killing those two little girls with relatively weak evidence, and a judge that is seemingly has some prejudice against him. We have seen that left and right in this case, kicking out his attorney's decisions that were made that don't allow for arguments to be made or even heard or considered in his defense. Here to discuss the psychology of all of this and what exactly may be going on here, Shavaun Scott, psychotherapist and author. This is a case that just it continues to fascinate me. It's fascinating from the angle of what the case is about, which we don't seem to be talking about much anymore because it's all about the minutia of this, the logistics of it right now. But we have this judge, Judge Gull, who they wanted to have her recuse herself. They wanted her to be kicked off. The Supreme Court kept her there. She stays on. The attorneys come back. We clearly see some prejudice going on here because immediately she starts denying motions for hearings that she had already approved in the past. But now that the attorneys are back, doesn't want to go there, seeming just digging in and digging in and digging into decisions that just don't seem to make a lot of sense. And we're talking about trying to have a fair trial for this man and truly coming to justice and coming to finding out what reality and the facts were. What is going on here with this, where you have an individual that digs in like this? In this case, Judge Gull.
We all want a fair judge. My gosh. And then where my mind always takes me is it possible for any judge to not have their
Hmm.
own unconscious prejudices?
Sure.
They're human like the rest of us. But it does seem like in this case, it's particularly evident, as you said, that she's got her own preconceived ideas and doesn't like this. It doesn't like the attorneys, clearly, and probably has prejudices against the defendant too, which is just, really unfortunate. If you watch a lot of trials or visit courtrooms and witness trials, you see such dramatically different types of people who become judges, and they have their different personalities. And some do seem to go the extra mile to be polite, to be fair, to do the right
Hmm.
thing, and other ones, their own personality is leaking through. And
Hmm.
you can tell by the decisions they make how they feel.
And that's a scary thing when we're talking about the pursuit of justice, because then you're basing it on someone's preconceived notions, their personality, whatever may be going on. I mean, judges they're human. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing different about them than anyone else that somehow gives them some sort of magical other insight that others may not have. Obviously, experience is one of those things that they have that others do not. Oftentimes worked as attorneys and know the system a bit better than others, but they are human. Should there be more oversights in terms of who gets to be a judge in our country? Should there be more of a mental competency test, and maybe not even competency, but fairness of someone who is going to, live up to the principles that our system is supposedly based on, where justice is in fact blind? Because it doesn't seem to be that way right now. It's either it's appointed by someone, and if you have someone who is already corrupt or twisted, appointing other people who think that
Right.
same way, or
Right.
it's by election, and then it's the luck of the juror or the
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
electorate to pick someone that
Mhm.
they feel good with.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
with someone who holds so much power, yields like literally the decision to change someone's life, destroy someone's life, or lives all around them. We really don't have a whole lot of oversight to say this person really has something wrong with them. Like their way of thinking
Mhm.
seems to be kind
Mhm.
of out there.
Mhm.
And in some cases, you'll look at that and go, "Well, they're a bulldog. They're really are they, or are they just really imbalanced?"
Right. Right. Yeah, and this is where my bias I'll own my bias here.
Yeah.
I think everybody who runs for political office should have some kind of psychological evaluation,
Yeah.
before we put them in, whether it's president or senators or whatever. I mean, we do want people who do not have glaring anger problems or
Mhm.
personality problems or prejudice or biases. And that just seems at this point, it's very haphazard and piecemeal. We just don't know enough about these people. And I've known
Yeah.
judges who were involved in domestic violence
Mhm.
cases themselves,
Yeah.
and it's just, yeah, they're
I
they're
mean,
just people. They're
I
like the rest of us.
and is there truly a way to look behind the curtain on something like that and say, yes, this person is, I mean, what would the bar be on something like that
Right.
of this person is
Right.
qualified, this person is not? Again, a very subjective way of looking
It
at things.
is. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It just, when you see cases like this and you see things that are like, this person holds too much power and it's completely unchecked. If the
Mm-hmm.
system's going to be that unchecked, maybe one of those checks should be, mental capabilities, and maybe rechecked throughout time too, because we all
Mm-hmm.
evolve and
Mm-hmm.
change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there are people who have got, just things I've witnessed, anger problems,
Hmm.
and their anger leaks out in court. And the people that they don't like, it's very clear
Hmm.
when they like someone or they don't like someone. And then I've known the opposite judges, that if I were, needing to be in court, I would pick that one. And I think attorneys know that too.
Hmm.
I've been told that by attorneys that, oh, well,
Yeah.
you want that judge, not that judge. And so this is how we try to maneuver to get the judge. There have even been really interesting studies that judges are apt to be more lenient. This was a fascinating study in the morning when they weren't hungry. And that as the day went on and they became hungry and tired, they were stricter with their rulings. And I don't have it all in front of me,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating on the time of day.
Yeah.
And so certain attorneys knew, well, you want to hit this judge at a certain time of day because they're going to be more open-minded than when they're tired and cranky and hungry later.
That seems so
So
scary on something so serious, and
yes.
what the outcomes can be. I mean, that can actually be a factor. I think we like to think that
Yes.
that can't be, but it is. They're human.
Yeah, they're very human, and I know, often people will say, "Can I have an appointment at 7:30 at night?" And I'm saying, "You're gonna get a tired therapist at 7:30 at
Mhm.
night.
Sure.
You're not gonna get me at my best."
Yeah.
I think you want 5 o'clock is about my cutoff time. I'm tired and hungry at that point,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
It's something that, an interesting observation on that
mhm.
system. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks